Good evening, and thank you for joining us for tonight's Auto Buyer 101 webinar. My name is Jason Himes for Valley Strong Credit Union, and I'm joined this evening by Adam Garcia with Valley Strong Credit Union's Loan Department. Before we begin, I'd like to cover some housekeeping items. We plan to answer a few questions from the audience. To submit a question, please click on the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. We will answer as many questions as we can live, and if you feel your question has not been answered through the presentation, please fill out the survey after the webinar and supply your contact information. Someone will reach out to you directly to answer your question. Some questions may be more appropriate to be discussed at an appointment. If this is the case, we will respond to you with Adam's or our department's contact info and then dismiss your question. We have a lot of information to cover tonight, so I'm going to turn my video off now so we can focus on the presentation, and I will begin by introducing our speaker. Adam Garcia is the Central Lending Manager with 21 years of experience with auto financing. Adam has been with Valley Strong Credit Union for 6 years. Adam, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Auto Buying Workshop. I appreciate you guys taking some time tonight and spending with me. We're going to go ahead and dive right in now. There we go. All right. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to ask some questions of you tonight that I want you to consider as we go along. First off, let's consider what type of car is right for you. What kind of type of car do you need? Are you single or just starting a family? Are you going to keep the car a few months, a few years? I'll talk about later about negative equity in your trade, but I hate seeing people buy the wrong car now, hate their car, or maybe have started a family and having to trade out of their vehicle or try to trade out of their vehicle and they can't. Another thing to consider is how much time do you spend in your car? Are you like me who spends most of his time in a car? I do drive a little Honda Civic hatchback and I am 6'2". Not sure why I drive such a small car, but it's a great question for you to ask yourself. Also, while you're thinking about what type of car you would like, let's do some research. Best place to research to start, of course, is always start online. Google what type of car you want, what you're considering. Go to dealer websites locally, out of the area. Great place also to start is the Valley Strong Credit Union website, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But before we start getting into exactly your vehicle, something to think and keep in mind is what's the value of the vehicle you're looking for? How much should you be spending on it? A couple different good places to look is kbb.com and AutoBuyTel. They'll also tell you some safety features and some other information you might not know about when you're purchasing your car. So that's also a great place to start. We'll talk about your trade and if you should trade it into the dealer or sell it yourself a little later. But while we're talking about looking at type of cars we need right here at Valley Strong Credit Union, you can go to the page under the search for used cars, or you can even build a new one. It's a really nice way to start, kind of stepping off point, and you can see exactly how much vehicles are going for. While you're there at that dealership, at that web page, if you scroll down a little, you'll see exactly our partner dealers that we have. You can search directly there to the exact make of the vehicle, and that'll take you where you want to go. Always look for making sure they are it's also nice to make sure that they are a partner dealer. Makes the process a lot easier, and we'll get into that a little later. But you can also apply for an auto loan right there. And also apply for other types of loans, and I'll show you that in just a minute. We have easy steps to go ahead and purchase. We have and types of different loans that you can apply for online. But it's a real easy form that you just want to fill out with all the information that you have, and that'll go straight into our contact center FSOs and be looked at by an underwriter. But while you're looking for a car, do you ever ask yourself what your FICO score is? What is your FICO score and how is it calculated? Well, your FICO score is made up of your current, previous, and slow paid debt. It uses a secret algorithm of your payment history, total amount owed, and even new debts. all while constantly changing your FICO. 2 ways to get your FICO scores. One, you can always get a free credit report from the 3 big credit report companies. Really easy way is if you're part of the data net with Valley Strong, you have a FICO widget. Not sure if everyone is familiar with that, but this is what your FICO widget looks like. Under your data net, if you go to more on the left side, you'll go over to FICO widget. It'll show you exactly what your current FICO score is. It keeps you up to date. It even will show you what to work on. On the left side there, you'll see the payment history, credit usage, total balances, the age of credit or credit age, and recent credit. Maybe you've had a slow pay on a credit card. This will give you a somewhat live view to see what a late payment does to your credit. And before you go out shopping, it's always recommended to be current on your debts. So it's a really great tool. But while we're out looking online, we know what our FICO is. We may even be working on our credit, getting our credit cards paid down a little. In the meantime, let's get pre-approved. What's really nice, you can call, you can go online, you can stop by a branch, and you can get pre-approved. The benefit is we can show you your rate, your term, your payment, and before you go out to the dealer, you'll know exactly what you can afford. It gives you flexibility on where to buy, in town, out of town. It helps your dealer to know what to do with the numbers and where they send your deal. Makes the time at the dealer quicker since you already have your financing. You don't have to go through theirs. It boosts your negotiation position since you know what our gap price is. You can even call in for our warranty. And we'll talk about that a little later also. But let me show you what our pre-approval looks like. This has all the information your dealer needs. If you've already had a vehicle in mind, like a 2020 Toyota Prius, it'll have that information on there, or no vehicle at all. If you're just wanting a blanket pre-approval, it'll have exactly what you need to do. Excuse me, okay, so it'll have your dollar amount, your APR, your months. Also shows right there what our gap is. For most vehicles, it is $450 to cover, and gap is to cover the difference between the vehicle insurance and what the auto insurance will cover if you total your vehicle. You may also receive up to $1,000 towards your purchase of a replacement vehicle when financing the credit union. The prices may differ. It's good just to call in to get that amount. Also, you'll have the phone number for the FSO, the financial service officer you talk to. So while you're in front of the dealer and they're giving you quotes on warranties, you can even call in for our quote. But while we're getting pre-approved, have you ever thought of what other services we offer? Our secured loans, we offer autos, RVs, trailers, motorhomes, and cargo trailers. All sorts of watercraft, motorcycles, and off-road vehicles. We also have home equity loans, which their webinar is coming soon. You'll see an email in your email for that. Unsecured loans, we offer Visa cards. We have personal and ready cash loans. We have a new Homeowner Plus. If you're a homeowner, you can get an unsecured loan up to $35,000. We also now offer a solar and HVAC and artificial turf loans. Just check our websites for that information. Also, we have teacher loans if you're a teacher. We have classroom supply and educator computer loans. So we offer a wide range of services for you. Getting ready to go to the dealer, have you ever wondered how auto loans work? Well, the shorter the term, the lower the rate, but that may lead to a higher payment. But remember, a low payment doesn't always mean you're saving money. With a low payment, you may just have to extend out your term. Are you payment driven or are you rate driven? I'm going to show you the breakdown of our lowest rate versus the dealer's 0% on the next slide. But always remember, you can refinance at any time. And remember, if you have a lower FICO score now, we offer a FICO refresh where in 6 months, if your FICO goes up, you can give us a call and we can lower your rate. So here's a breakdown between the 0% and our lowest rate, which is 66 months at 3.49. But did you know that the 0% rate with the dealers, you can't negotiate the sales price? The dealer offers 0% or a rebate. Let's say you take the rebate or even negotiate the price down just a little here. But here are the breakdowns in the payment. So if you take the 0% for 66 months at $30,000, it's a $455 payment with the dealer financing. If you take the rebate, you may even negotiate the price down a little. So we're financing $27,000 at 66 months for the 3.49%. That's a $453 payment. Just something for you to remember as you're going out there. But talking about dealers, how do they make money? Well, new autos have little margins to make the dealer money, while used brings the biggest margins. Do you own your car right now with a roof rack or windows tinted? Well, those are called add-ons. Well, I like to drive off with my car with every add-on possible, but I want it all built into the price. Well, if I finance through a dealership, or excuse me, if I purchase through a new dealership, they can get that all done with my financing with us. I might pay a little more, but the car will look exactly like I want when I drive off. And I am paying interest on all the add-ons that I choose. How long should the process take? Well, my best time is about 3 hours, but I know it will take some time to get through the full process. Be prepared, be ready to be there. Make sure you're not hangry, make sure you got your snack and you got your drink. It's going to take some time to go back and forth with all the numbers. And remember, as scary as I may make it sound or other people may make it sound, you can't be afraid. Do your homework, know what you're buying, and remember, you can always walk away and come back later. What to look for in a dealership is really up to you, but new or used dealers, do your research on them, see what people are saying about them. You can Google every dealership and just about get a review on all of them. But remember, take all that with a grain of salt. If someone had a really bad experience or heard a friend have a bad experience, someone might be on there saying information that might not always be correct. Just use your best judgment. Local or out of town dealers, of course, buying local always keeps the taxes here in Bakersfield, which is always good. Online car buying, and seems to be almost a new norm nowadays with everything going on. You can always use the online services that will bring the car straight to you. Even the local dealerships have that. They'll bring the car to you, they have it sanitized. It'll be ready to go. If you still want to go in and see the vehicle, their online car buying, you'll know exactly who you can talk to and you'll know the price before even stepping in the door. Dealership or private party, if you do the dealership, all the paperwork is done through the dealer. The private party, you'll both come into the Valley Strong branch with the seller, which is what we consider a private party. If you come to the branch, we'll do all the paperwork just like the dealer. So it is up to you on which way you want it to go. Plenty of options there for you. Leasing or financing. Well, there's a couple of good things to consider as you go, but you don't own the vehicle, but you will have an option to purchase at the time of the lease end. Payments are almost always lower than financing. So make sure you know what your payment is either way. Most lease limit mileage to about 12,000 to 15,000. But if you're like me, you drive high miles, you can negotiate a higher limits at time of purchase. Going over your allotted miles may cost about 25 cents or higher per mile, and you can always negotiate that again, like I said. At the end of the lease term, pay any costs due to the mileage, overage, wear and tear, but you walk away. The nice thing is if you want a new car every 2 years, every 3 years, and you're okay not owning it, leasing's for you. If you have a high negative equity, if the dealer is telling you need to put a lot of cash down, which could be the reason, if you trade in, leasing could work for you also. It's going to be a way to get rid of all your negative equity, and at the end of the term, you're good to go. You can walk away. All righty, Jason, we're at that time if we had some live questions out there.
Thank you, Adam. That was some great information. Yes, we do have a couple of questions. Um, One of them is, when's a good time to buy a car?
Really, any time is a good time to buy a car. If you've already done your homework and you've done your, um, you know what you're going to buy and you know what you're getting into, anytime's a good time. We do recommend during the week, over the weekends. The weekends, sometimes the dealership is busier and the salesman might not have a, they might not give you the much attention as you like, but anytime is a good time to buy a car.
Thank you. Um, how much down payment should I have to buy a new car?
You don't always have to have a down payment. So that is something to keep in mind. Of course, a down payment always helps. It is going to lower your monthly payment. Whatever you feel comfortable with your monthly payment, if you prefer a $300 payment over a $350 payment, they'll help you calculate how much down that is and get you going.
Thank you, Adam. Hopefully everybody's welcome to add questions. Please join in with questions submitted. And Adam, back to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Some great questions. We're going to keep cruising here. So we got our pre-approval in hand. We've done our research. We know what car we want. We may even talk to them online. We may be ready to go in. We know who to talk to. I'm happy to go. We know what down payment is. We know what our payment's going to be. So let's go off to the dealer. Now be careful of verbal traps. And this is definitely something you want to be careful of, is how much payment can you afford when you walk in? Well, if you walk in and you can't afford a $500 payment, the dealer is definitely going to get you into, thank you. The dealer is definitely going to get you into that $500 payment when it should only been $480, $450. How much down payment do you have? Well, that's something that could be discussed at a later time. You want to know how much the vehicle is. Down payment can always be brought up later on with finance. Also, how's your credit? Now, how's your credit? As one that I've been asked myself, it gets me hot under the collar because I'm there to finance a vehicle. I know what my credit is ahead of time. It's not up to the salesman to decide how well he thinks my credit, he or she thinks my credit should be. But when's a good time to talk about your trade? I would rather have known the vehicle or know what the vehicle amount is before I tell them I have a trade. A trade can be negotiated at any time. Everything can be negotiated at some point, but I want to know how much the vehicle is. I don't want them to determine how much my vehicle is going to be if I have a trade or not. Should you trade in your vehicle? Are you like me? Do you like to just walk in and say, I know what I'm buying. We got my car ready. I've already done a test drive. Now I go back in and I don't want to deal with the vehicle after I purchase a new one. Be careful if you can do 2 payments at a time. I can't do it. So, I go ahead and trade it. Now, typically I will lose about 10% on the value by trading it in. But if you're like Jason out there, he's a hardworking guy who will advertise it and show the vehicle and probably make a little more money than I would. But I like the ease of trading it into the dealer. So I prefer trading it in. Losing money, that's okay with me. There is a convenience of trading over selling at private party. Upside down or trade-ins, the dealership will put any excess of the amount owed on the new contract. Just make sure you're aware of that ahead of time. That's what I'm saying up front, is make sure you get your value of the vehicle or the trade, so you know if you might maybe need to put some cash down to compensate that, or your payment just might be a little higher because you have a little negative equity going back into the vehicle. But remember, it's negotiable. The trade is negotiable. Don't be afraid to ask for more value on your trade-in. All right. Which brings me to the next slide about everything's negotiable. The price of the vehicle is the amount of your trade, the warranty and gap. Negotiate your trade-in last, and always make sure to stay focused on the numbers. Our warranty and gap here at Valley Strong is such a good dollar amount. Our warranty and gap is not negotiable, but theirs is. They'll be able to offer you different price warranties, just like a less, but it's up to you on how much coverage you want, as long as you want it for. I always find it odd when a member does a 5-year term to finance their vehicle, but they only do a 2-year warranty. If you want the warranty, make sure you are the one deciding what the coverage is. Don't let them decide. And again, I was saying gap covers the difference of the vehicle worth versus the loan of the car. So if the insurance is only going to pay up to a percentage, the gap contract will kick in and pay the rest. So we know we've negotiated our trade. We know what vehicle we're going into. We're going to go back into the office where the dealer manager is, or the dealer finance. The dealer will offer you everything that they can. Extended warranties, again, it's up to you on which one you want to buy. If you have our pre-approval, or even if you didn't, take our number with you. Feel free to give us a call. Give us the information of the vehicle. We'll be more than happy to tell you how much our warranties are. There are times where a dealer may be able to offer you on a higher mile vehicle a better warranty. Of course, they'll be able to offer you gap. Prepaid maintenance plans is great if you're like me, you just want to drop the car off and not have to worry about paying for an oil change. I want them to take care of it. It's something for you to think about the price. Ask them how much their oil changes is up front to calculate how much they're charging on the prepaid maintenance. Key replacement is new. If you lose your key, well, the new keys are pretty expensive. They offer a warranty on that too. Well, they'll come out and replace that key for you. Paint protection, you know, those when you're at the grocery store, the carts like to hit you, so that'll help you on that. Interior protection, roadside assistance they will offer. Remember, it is free with membership here at Valley Strong Credit Union. Not a lot of people remember that. Just to give us a call or stop in to any of the branch and they'll give you information on that. Ding and dent repair. If you get a little ding or dent from, you know, that cart hitting you at the grocery store, they have a warranty to replace that. They even have a tire and wheel warranty to make sure that if something happens to your wheel, if you hit a curb or anything, they'll have something to replace that. Just make sure you've done your homework to know what prices are and everything. I know I put a lot of information in your head. Everything's negotiable. Make sure you're happy with the price that you're paying. They are offering a service that I can't get anywhere else. You know, you're going to be there for a while. Make sure that you're fed, you're watered. You know what add-ons you want on the vehicle. If you want to roll off the lot with window tint, if you want a new car, if you want a used car, just make sure you do your homework and don't be afraid to sign the contract. I appreciate everyone being with me tonight. I know this Zoom is a new thing for myself and everyone else, so I seem to zoom through it. Do we have any other questions out there, Jason?
Yeah, we have a few questions. One is, if I purchased a vehicle and financed it at another institution, can I refinance it with Valley Strong?
Absolutely. You're going to go ahead and call our main line, the 661-833-7900, and they'll get you over to our contact center, FSOs. They'll take all your information that you need and call for a payoff, and we can get you financed over here. Not a problem.
Okay. Here's another one for you. I'm a first-time buyer, and I've been building my credit with a purchase of a watch. My question is, would you recommend me to add another form of credit or just save money as another step?
Well, we do have a first-time buyer program. We like to put you in a maximum of $20,000 for the vehicle. We do a 60-month max term, and we do ask that you be on the job for 1 year with no drag in your credit. And to save your money, we do ask for a down payment of 15% of the sales price. You don't always need a co-signer. You can do it by yourself. We just ask that we hit those key features, but feel free to call in and they'll be more than happy to walk you through the steps you need.
I'm self-employed. Does the credit union finance autos for self-employed individuals?
Absolutely. What we ask is that you be self-employed for 2 years. We'll just need your tax returns, the last year's tax returns. and the contact center episodes when you call in will ask about that, just to make sure that everything is checked out and that's not a problem.
How is the best way to build credit to buy a car?
Best way to build credit is we offer a Visa credit card, and we usually do about $300 to $500 for a starter credit card. Or we have a secured credit card that you can do. Those are really two good ways to start credit and build your FICO score. Let them be on your credit for 6 months with a balance. That's the key. And the credit score will populate after 6 months. What I always say is if you open up a credit card, put half on that credit card and pay it off slowly with the minimum payments. After that 6 months, your credit score will be populated and continue to grow.
All righty. I own my car outright, but no longer shows on my credit, nor does any other debt. What can I do after my credit score starts reporting?
So to get your credit score to report, you can again do a credit card where it's on there for 6 months. You can even do a cash refinance on your vehicle, where you have a clear and free vehicle. You can bring your title in. We can give you a loan off that.
The ones that were.
We can get you a loan off that, and that will, and after 6 months, we'll get it populated, and you'll be set to go. Any other ones out there, Jason?
Yeah, I've got a few more. If I want to get a pre-approval with Valley Strong, do I need to tell them I'll be doing a trade-in or to get the loan?
We do ask, they will ask you if you are doing a trade-in. They'll see an auto on your credit report, or even if it's not on your credit report. If it is on your credit report and it's worked into your debt ratio, if your debt ratio is a little high, they may ask if it's a trade-in. If it's not on your credit report, if it is freed-in, and you can go ahead and, it's up to you. It's always good to tell them, but that doesn't determine, it doesn't determine your debts or anything. So you can talk to your dealership about that.
I'm currently leasing my car. Can I finance it with Valley Strong when my lease is done?
Absolutely. When your lease is done or towards the end of your lease, about 2 months before your lease, give us a call and we'll do a payoff quote from your leasor, excuse me, and they'll get you financed on your lease. You may have to go back to the dealership just to get a quote from them, but they'll get you all set up. They'll let you know what to do.
Is Valley Strong's interest rates better than other banks or dealers?
Valley Strong's is competitive with other lenders. I do know that they do run specials from time to time, so they may be a little lower and maybe a little higher. You can always refinance back to Valley Strong if you finance somewhere else and our rate goes down. It's really up to you, but we are competitive with other local credit unions and banks.
How many hard checks of the credit report does Valley Strong make when applying for a loan?
We will check your credit one time within a 90-day period. So if you decide to purchase a vehicle and that vehicle is funded, you can come back in for a credit card. We'll still use your same credit report if it's within the 90 days. When it gets towards the end of the 90 days, we may pull your credit, but we'll let you know ahead of time if we do.
And I think that's all the questions we have for now. Thank you so much, Adam. And thanks again for joining us this evening. We hope you enjoyed the content and that you will leave feeling prepared for the auto purchasing process. After we end the meeting, you will be presented with a link to take a short survey regarding today's webinar. This is where you can also ask additional questions. If you feel your question was not answered in the presentation, just be sure to include your contact information so someone can reach out to you. On behalf of Adam Garcia, our lending department, and Valley Strong Credit Union, thank you and have a great night.